Hello and welcome to the Coaches Show. We're here at the Hornets Nest where we got a chance to interview some of the men's volleyball team after their match against El Camino. My name is Jerry Roque, joined alongside.
Garrett Geimer, and starting this episode of the Coach Show and throughout the remainder of this semester, we have a new format and we will be introducing podcasts to the show as well. Hello, my name is Garrett Geimer alongside Fullerton Hornets outside hitter Connor Stobie. Connor, how do you rank your performance tonight against this highly talented El Camino team?
I think we played all right in set three, and it was really on and off throughout the entire game. And we really didn't get off to a good start in the beginning of the match, but we got there in the second set and the third set. We knew that their platform was a weakness, so we kind of targeted the platform, and then we really strengthened our block after some timeouts. We focused on our block, and that allowed our defense to really cover where the ball would go.
How would you say your team was kind of able to rattle off those big stretches of points later in those matches?
I think it was really like a mentality thing, because we have this problem where we keep making errors on errors, but once we stop the errors, and we've been working on it.
What are some of the exercises that you guys do maybe in practice or during the week to
We do blocking every practice, and in the weight room we do bench press so that we have an easier time putting our hands over the net, and we also do cleans just to help our jump so that we can do it easier. And we do blocking every day, for 10-15 minutes.
And for you, what do you think one of the strengths personally in your game do you think you have to help this team?
My communication is the biggest strength I have. I really bring the energy up when I'm on the court, and I try to bring the energy up when I'm not on the court because I've been injured.
My name is Jerry Roque. I'm joined sideline Andrew Ramos, a freshman outside hitter from Downey, California. Andrew, how did you feel like this matchup was lined up today?
I don't know, it was very difficult. I mean, we came in confident. Coming into the match, we came in confident, but we definitely struggled in some certain areas, which was very frustrating for us because we worked on them in practice, but we definitely could have competed. It just wasn't our night tonight.
And you guys had a pretty shaky start off to the season. You guys had a couple of wins against Palomar, and you guys have Palomar coming up later on in this week.
Yeah.
How do you think a matchup like tonight in comparison to a victory that you guys have had before is going to kind of translate over?
Well, it was just very difficult because coming from a win and then going to a loss and then going to another match, some of us, it kind of hangs over us sometimes. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to try to work on going on to the next point, like our coach says, and just kind of go on to the next match, to compete and focus on our side.
And you guys have 7 games now off the bat, done with the season. How does that transition from high school to now playing at a collegiate level? How does that feel so far?
It feels something to adjust to, definitely, because high school, you don't really face a lot of teams like El Camino. You don't really face bigger blocks and things like that. So it's a lot of adjusting to do, a lot of working, trying to work harder, trying to get past my mind past the high school level.
And do you guys do any sort of team workouts or anything at school that really helps you guys kind of prepare and get set for this season?
Yeah, we do. We go in the weight room, try to work on especially us jumping higher. So we do a lot of leg workouts since we're a fairly short team. So we just in the weight room, we just do a lot of kind of explosive things, a lot of leg workouts and things like that.
And is there any matchups now that you guys are going to be going into conference that you guys are really looking forward to that you think you can take so far with the few games that we've seen so far in the season?
We're kind of excited to play El Camino again because in our conference, and also Santiago Canyon, we feel like we can match up well against them and hopefully have a good game and battle against them.
And what are some of the things from tonight's from tonight's match that you guys really think would be vital in your next set against Palomar to kind of secure that second victory against them?
Kind of just focusing on our side, talking a lot more in the back row and just not kind of getting into each other's heads, trying to pick each other up and keeping our energy high.
And is there anything that Coach Eddie Rapp talked to you guys in between the second and third set? Because the first and second set felt like you guys got off to a little bit of a kind of even start, kind of maybe pulled away from Palomar. And then in the third set, felt like you guys really dominated most of that set, holding on to those leads and getting off to those fiery starts.
Yeah, he kind of just told us that it's all right. We could just focus on our side, do our thing, and just start off strong with the first rotation that we were in. Just keep it rolling and don't let focus on the next point. Don't let the other point just hang over your head.
Hello, my name is Garrett Geimer alongside Jason Thompson, Fullerton Hornets opposite hitter. Jason, coming into this match, knowing El Camino is a good team, they were ranked top 5 last semester, What was some of the preparation that you guys did to prepare for this match?
One of the main things was focusing on our side of the court. We don't. It doesn't matter who we're playing against. We could play the best team in the state, the worst team in the state. The biggest key for us is our side of the court. Getting the pass, getting the set, getting a good swing. Like that's really one of the big things that we focus on coming in this week and coming into next week, which is season or league.
What is the energy coming into a season or OEC games now? Do you guys kind of turn up a little bit, or get more momentum to play those rivalry games?
The energy is definitely going to increase. The energy is very high. So we're very excited. We're very happy to come into these games soon in the OEC conference because we know the conference is very competitive. There's a lot of good teams. We're trying to fight along these guys. Like the energy is definitely going to increase and up as we progress too along. Like as the season progresses, we're still early in. As it progresses, the energy is going to increase. We're gonna get fired up. Right now we're just focused on our side and keeping it consistent.
So you said you guys haven't played too many matches collegiately. For you personally, how was that? How have you felt getting a few of them under your belt so far? And are you getting more comfortable and your feeling at the collegiate level so far?
I'm feeling good personally. My first few games, the morning games weren't too good for me. I was struggling. It's hard to wake up in the morning for me. But the late night 6 p.m. games, they're starting to feel good. I think for all of us, we're just like we still got the butterflies in the stomach. We're still not used to it because it is a big jump from high school, So for me, I think it's very much I've been loving it. I've been loving the atmosphere of getting in, getting swings in, getting blocks. Like the energy out there is super good, super fun, and I've been welcoming to the experience, and I think the whole team is as well.
And you talk about energy. I noticed on the sideline, you guys were really amped up when you guys were having those long rallies. How do you think that helps the connection with the team, but also the play on the court as well?
It's just fun. We're playing volleyball. Come on. Who else gets to be yeah, I just spent my Wednesday night watching/playing volleyball, right? Yeah, we take the fact that we can play volleyball and that we do play volleyball very highly. We understand that not everybody gets to do this. Not everybody gets to have the luxury of being a full-time student and a full-time athlete. So we just kind of live it up. It's we're playing volleyball, guys. It's fun, it's exciting. Why sit here and not enjoy this great game being played in front of you. So yeah.
How has your experience been with Coach Rapp so far?
My experience with Coach Rapp has been great. I redshirted last year, and I had a lot to work on. And I came into this, he was, right by my side, leading me along the way to improve my game, not only volleyball itself, but my life. I was pretty unhealthy, and he turned it around. Was he really believes in each and every single one of us, and I think that's a big thing about him is that he, at the end of the day, will be there, and he does care. And he knows what we can do, and he's seen it, and he knows how to do it. He's been there before, and I think that's very valuable for us this year is having someone who's been there. We're such a young team, we haven't really been there. We don't really know exactly what it takes, and I think Rapp is a big key in pushing us to be there and be prepared and ready for whatever's next.
Mm-hmm. And so you came up to me after the game, and you got those 2 kills that you were bragging about. Do you kind of want more playing time, or how do you feel for yourself? Do you feel like you want to be in there more?
I mean, everybody wants to play. Everyone wants to play. We all want to see, our own time. Right now is one thing to focus on is that it's early season. We're not in conference yet. Yeah, of course I'd love to see more playing time. Of course, all of us would. I had a great game last week, and I need to just accept yeah, I have great games. We all have good games, right? So, yeah, I'm not really sure what to say on that, but
yeah.
of course,
I just pulled that one up.
we all want to see more playing time. We got a lot of people that all play the same position, and so there's a lot of competition. I think that's really good, and I think it's really bringing out the fire in everybody in the grit, and really it's really showing everyone's true colors and who wants to be there.
And you think practicing against each other and that competition prepares you for the big OEC games coming up?
Yeah, I definitely think it does. We have a lot of high caliber players. We have depth in the roster. So I think the games that we have in practice and scrimmages really prepares us to work hard, and like we don't get to have any off days. You know, like we can't take a break, because if we take a break, we lose our spot. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Jason. This has been Garrett Geimer alongside Jason Thompson.
I'm now joined alongside Junior Paniagua, the setter, and this returning sophomore for this Hornets volleyball team. Junior, how was this lineup today, and how did you guys come into it prepared?
We came in. We knew they were good guys. They're really good, really competitive, really physical. But we just knew we just had to play our game. If we had to worry about our side of the court, not theirs. It doesn't matter what they do. It just matters, like what we do matters most. We couldn't get in our own heads, and we just had to play our game.
And last year, you guys came off a pretty impressive season, and you guys lost a lot of key players. You guys had 3 team members that were all conference as well for the Fullerton volleyball team. How is it now that you're transitioning into a much younger team where you guys only have 2 returning sophomores? I mean, what's that dynamic like so far?
It's a lot of learning for them. Sometimes it can be like a little frustrating for like the returners, because everybody's so new. But we're just working with them, teaching them as best as we can, and they're learning really well. Especially because we're all like shorter on the shorter side. They're competing really well with like the 6'5" guys. They're not letting them get in their heads.
Very good. No, it was a really fun match to watch today. It seemed like you guys got off to a really hot start in that the third set. I mean, I felt like you guys really dominated that entire set. You guys got off to a really, really hot start. Were able to hold on to that lead for 5-6 points, and then kind of gave up a little bit more, but were able to hold on to it and secure it at the very end. Is there anything that Coach Eddie talked to you guys in between those timeouts to kind of help keep you guys motivated?
Yeah, he was just telling us like we want it more than them. They're down right now. They're a little frustrated. But that we were just giving it to them. We gotta want it more than them, and that's what we did. We wanted it more than them, and then we finished the set.
And how do you guys prepare to go up against such a key matchup? El Camino last year in the rankings was up in the top 5, so they're a very big powerhouse team, and especially in the Orange Empire Conference where we have a lot of the good teams, you know, Irvine Valley that usually dominates as well, and at OCC who are the 2022 reigning champions. How do you guys mentally prepare for some of those key matchups coming up in conference play?
Yeah, we just gotta tell ourselves that we got this. We can't put ourselves down and think that we're just gonna lose automatically. As long as we put up a fight, anybody's beatable.
And you guys came off a really great win, a 3-2 win against Palomar, who you guys saw last week, and you guys have them coming up again. How is it? Some mistakes were made today. How do you guys think you're going to be able to correct them in order to secure another win against Palomar next week?
Definitely, we're gonna work on our errors. We want to have less errors on our side, but we plan on going to Palomar and trying to sweep them 3-0. We're definitely gonna fight for that. We're not gonna let them come back up in points. Oh, that's a little weird. But we're definitely just going to play our game on our side, just like we did last time. We did give them the first 2 sets. The last 3, we definitely came back and showed them that we meant business.
And being a returning sophomore, what kind of leadership role does that kind of get put on you, having the experience of seeing all the league teams last year and now having to kind of reteach all the freshman group, you know, what it's like to play collegiate, you know, volleyball?
Yeah, so like whenever I see, like, at practice especially, whenever I see like some errors going on with like, the younger guys, it's always fun to explain like, oh, that won't work because these guys do this. It's not like high school. So we really got to show them or tell them like the differences between college and high school.
Being the returning sophomore that's coming into his second season, is there any matchups from last year that you're really looking forward to kind of get back in this season?
Definitely. I'm really looking forward to the Irvine Valley games. One of our outside hitters went over there. We're best friends, and I really want to play against them.
So that feels like it's a little bit more personal at that point. Now that you're like, hey, I've played with you. I know your style, you know mine, but now you've betrayed me a little bit, right?
Yeah. Last year during practice, I definitely got hit in the face a few times by him, but I'm coming back. Also Santiago, I have another friend in Santiago that transferred over there. And he changed his position too, so it's gonna be fun watching him play against us.
And how is that dynamic knowing, you know, a couple of other players on other teams? Do you feel like you ever get like an advantage kind of knowing some of those other people?
Definitely, yeah, because I know how they play. My friend in Santiago, I've never seen him play. He's a middle blocker now. He used to be a setter. I've never seen him play middle, so I'm kind of like waiting to see what he's got. He told me he sent me a clip one time, and he looks pretty solid in the middle.
And that wraps up our interview with the men's volleyball team, who now falls to 2-5 in the Orange Empire Conference, going into some conference matches this week.
And Fullerton College and Radcare want to remind you to reach out, ask for help, and do something. For more information, check the description below.
For the men's volleyball team, for Garrett Geimer, I'm Jerry Roque, and you've been watching The Coaches Show here on 90.1 KBPK.